Steam replay for 2022. Honestly, kind of expected this much. Didn't expect to see this, though. I don't even remember playing No Man's Sky. That game can be very relaxing, and honestly, I feel like I probably fall asleep through most of it. 17%? 17%? I don't even remember that. What did I even do? I think it was the Leviathan community event, the expedition event or whatever. That's a lot of playtime now. 25 sessions. 21? Oh my gosh, dude. No wonder I'm not beating Into the Radius. I've been playing No Man's Sky too much. What is going on here? 9 demos plays, 19 new games. I'm sure I returned like 90% of those. Beat Saber, honestly, that they should have a time frame where it's like around, like 3 a.m. No, I'm just kidding. Played with keyboard and mouse 52% of the time, 11% with controller. So that means that I'm playing VR 63% minus 100, 37% of the time. Over a quarter of my time is actually playing that, which that's pretty bad, I'll be honest. It depends on how much I've actually been playing too, because like there's times when I don't play anything and I just play games to just relax, just to like chill out after working and everything. And VR sometimes it's a little bit more like an endeavor, it's like you really want to get into it if you can. Oh, look at that. They got little like PlayStation controllers and Xbox controllers and Xbox One. That's cute. You played 56 games. What the frick is wrong with me? 56 different games, and I don't remember beating a single one of them. I don't beat games. I just play them for a little bit and then move on. 23% of games you played that were new releases, games released during 2022. That's not bad. I'm beating everybody right now. I'm beating on everybody in the different areas that don't matter, except for actual like VR playtime. That's where I'm like, my priorities are definitely not straight here. I'm just telling on myself. I'm just telling myself with this video. What am I even doing? Why am I making this? I don't need to share this information. I need to keep this hidden away so that way people think that I'm just super busy, which I am. People are going to be like, oh no, look, well see, this is what you were actually doing. It's like, oh gosh dang it. There's a gameplay that were released 8 or more years ago, 6%. I believe that. Dark Souls 3, Kerbal Space Program, yeah, I believe that. You are what you play, I guess. The spider graph shows the kinds of games you spent the most time in 2022. VR, obviously. Violent. I think these both go hand in hand. Actually, this may as well just be all of these. Like, even rhythm games are kind of violent when you think about it. Space Sim, never mind, that's definitely not violent. That is you walking around and harvesting stuff. That's like the least violent thing. Souls-like, definitely violent. Science and violence, honestly, they kind of go together, man. Like, there's some pretty violent things that were done in the name of science. It's kind of crazy, actually. I might make videos on that. I don't know, leave a comment down below if you want to see that. Also, like and subscribe, because we have reached over 500 subscribers. I'm honestly kind of shocked. I'm shocked that people are watching more than anything, but seriously though, thank you for subscribing. We're going to do a 500 subscriber special at some point. I've been working on the next episode of Into the Radius, episode 13. Trying to make that better than normal, so that way I can move on from Into the Radius and go over to our next game that we're going to play, which is going to be The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, per your vote, because I put the poll out there what game I should play next, and that's what everybody said the most of, so we're going to do that. And it makes sense too, because the next Walking Dead is actually coming out in February, so hopefully I can finish the game before then. But more than likely, it might just last another year. I'm just trying not to burn through all the good VR games, and I definitely don't want to move away from Into the Radius completely either, because it is a really good VR game, and it helps me tide over, no pun intended, 2 different VR games that release, so that's one thing to keep in mind. Anyway, let's take a closer at your top played games. No Man's Sky. What was I doing in June? 77. What the frick? 77% of total playtime in No Man's Sky played in June. I'm trying to think, like, what What was I doing in June that was so different? I honestly have no idea. This is a fluke. This is just a complete. I don't believe this. This is lying. This is a lie. 13%, 5%. See, like, all of this is in June. What happened in June that I was just like, you know what? Oh, wait a minute. That's when the Leviathan expedition happened. Yeah, because that sucked up a lot of. 3-day streak. Yeah, because I played it like day after day to like get through the Leviathan quests and everything. That makes sense. Okay, 17%. Where is the other time going? End of the radius. Yes, obviously. Oh yeah, look at that. Wait, 36% of playtime. I'm not playing this game enough, bro. I like record stuff and then it's like a couple of months. Recently, whenever I play VR, like I was playing Veil the other day, and the next day I had this really weird headache. I was like, man, what's going on with this? And then I remembered, it's like, wait a minute. I played Veil for like 3 hours and I was looking around and everything, and the Valve Index is kind of heavy. I think my neck literally just got sore from playing VR for so long. So VR is like an endeavor, you know, like it's not like No Man's Sky where you can just sit down, relax and play it as like a casual experience. VR is like, it's like D&D or Warhammer 40K or something like that, where you're, by the way, I've not played either one of those. I'm just using those as intense examples, but games where you sit down and it's like, this is what you're committed to. So I guess I just need to commit more, which is probably what my ex-girlfriend would say. But anyways, Beat Saber, 8% of total playtime, 45 sessions played. I believe that because Beat Saber is surprisingly my go-to game. Not gonna lie, it's just so simple. You boot up the game, you hop in, you play a couple of songs, you get a little bit tired, and then you can, warm up for another VR game. Like honestly, it's very strange that the VR games that have the least time committed are the ones that are the most popular. It's very strange. Let's see what's next here. Dark Souls 3. Yeah, I believe that. I think that's when I first started playing it. Got kind of addicted to it for a while. 80% of total playtime in Dark Souls 3 played in March. This is pretty revealing. I haven't beat it yet. I do have recordings of it though. I might show some of those videos. That's up to you all though. If you all want to see that, or if you just want to see more into the Radius stuff. I try to record as much as I can. Sometimes I just don't really want to bother. Just want to play a game and just decompress at the end of the day. But let me know your thoughts on that. Kerbal Space Program 2. I mean 2-day streak. Yeah. I mean, I spent a long time in this game. I haven't even landed on other planets in this game. I don't know what the deal is, why this is so engaging to me, but it's just like, just the novelty of being able to build something and fly it into space, and it all makes sense. That's something I'm really excited about for Kerbal Space Program 2. Hopefully they don't screw it up. That game's supposed to come out in February. I might play that one. Let's see, 49% of total playtime. Again, sometimes this is me playing with my family too. Different games like this, I will kind of like have fun with my family and we'll just play games that are a little bit more educational, I guess. I don't know, this game honestly teaches you rocket science, and I recommend it to anybody that's interested in that, or anybody that wants to feel very, very dumb. Do I have recorded footage of DayZ? I don't think I have anything recorded from DayZ because the game is very dry. It's like 99% boredom and 1% pure terror, as they say in the military, because you're basically just walking around trying to find stuff. It's not very engaging. Well, let me know if you want to see some of that. Maybe that would be fun. I don't know. That might not be stream worthy because there's just not a lot that happens. And plus, if you get someone that's like stream sniping, because I'm just so popular that would happen to me. No, that's a joke. I'm not that popular for that to happen. But anyway, let's see. Windows, virtual reality. That's a pretty good chunk for virtual reality. For number of games, yeah, more VR games that I would play. And of course, I've got the Steam Deck, which I have not touched hardly at all. Yep, that's okay. That one's pretty fun, not gonna lie. Top played VR games, obviously. I wouldn't expect Contractors to be on there. That's weird. I wonder if it's not counting some of the games that I played as VR games, because I have played other things besides this. This I can see because my family will play this game quite a bit. Into the Radius, 21%, barely edging out Beat Saber. So I need to be playing this more. That's what I'm getting from this. 11% of playtime was with a controller. Yep, that makes sense. Although that doesn't make sense because I played with a mouse and keyboard most of the time. Maybe it's counting that like one time that I hooked up a controller to it. That's probably what it's doing. Callisto Protocol. That makes sense. Dark Souls 3, definitely. Can't play Dark Souls 3 with a mouse and keyboard. I mean, if the game's already hard, that's like extra hard mode. Maybe I'll hook up like a HOTAS joystick to it and see if I can beat the game that way. That might be kind of difficult. Explore the games you played this year. Oh yeah, don't play Apex on the Steam Deck. You're at a huge disadvantage. It's like, it's not fun. Got a tiny little screen and you're playing against PC players. Yeah, don't do that. Definitely get a monitor if you're gonna play it on the Steam Deck. Into the Breach, really good game. I like that one. Destiny 2, it is a game. Boneworks is fun. Job Simulator is just classic VR. I probably would introduce people to this first just to get people used to it. It's the first game that I played in VR, actually. I played it on a Vive way back when I was in college. And there was this Vive that was set up and Job Simulator was there. And yeah, it's a pretty crazy experience going from my very naive, ignorant perspective on VR, which was like, okay, this is a story actually. Maybe I should just tell this story. So like back in the day, there was 3D TVs. So you had 3D TVs and, you know, you'd put on the glasses and be like, yeah, you know, it's like, you can call it 3D, but it's not really 3D. Like it has some depth to it. And then, you know, you also had motion gaming was popular then. So you had the Wii, you had the PS3 with the Move controllers, which I had some, and they were pretty cool, but they needed work. Like they got out of sync stuff. You had to recalibrate them all the time. So like my perspective on VR was basically like, oh, so you're wearing a 3D TV on your face and you're using motion gaming controls. That was my perspective on VR before I ever tried it. You know, I was like, whatever, you know, this is going to be a fad. It's going to fade away. And then I actually tried it and it was like, my mind was blown because I had no concept whatsoever that what you're seeing is literally perceived depth, not just like an illusion like a 3D TV where it's like kind of coming off the screen. Like you have depth perception. You feel like you're in the room. As far as your mind is concerned, you are in the room there. But anyway, yeah, that was the first VR game that I played and it just blew my mind. And after that, I was like, I have to get a VR headset. This is so cool. Like, this is like the coolest thing since sliced bread. Probably not. But Contractors is also good. You're definitely going to run into people, which is unfortunate. Pavlov is definitely fun. I like the Halo maps. Very janky. I like it for that reason. This is a blank thing. I don't know what this is. This might be the Spider-Man VR experience. That might be what that is. Population 1. It's always fun. Veil is a lot of fun, actually. I played that quite a bit. Although that poster's really creepy. Makes it seem like it's a horror game. It's actually just a first-person shooter multiplayer game. Super smooth. I mean, it's the closest the feeling of just playing Call of Duty in VR. That's what I can describe. Even though it's definitely not Call of Duty, it's more a tactical, quote-unquote tactical shooter, but I played Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, and it basically feels like Call of Duty. I mean, the headshots are one-shot kill, though, so it is supposed to be a competitive game, but I don't know. Far Cry 2 is a classic. I want to see a VR game of Far Cry 2. I think that would be really good. Blade and Sorcery, I probably want to play this more, but honestly, I kind of just want them to finish the game before I go back and play it again. It's been in development ever since the beginning of VR. I just want them to do something with it, you know? Like, I feel like the progress on it has been kind of slow, but that's understandable because VR is very complicated. On top of the fact that the developers are like 2 or 3 people or something like that. There's not a lot of people working on the game. This was a really interesting game. I kind of wish that they would go back and like remake this game because it has a lot of potential, but it was just so janky. You know, there's just a lot of things about it that were not very well polished and it just didn't feel finished. You know, it felt like they used a lot of pre-made assets. yeah, I just feel like if they went back and revisited this would be pretty cool, honestly. Like, it has a pretty cool concept. Hyperbolica, I have not finished. I need to go back and finish it. It was so mind-bending the first time, it kind of hurt my brain afterwards. This is an amazing game. Played this when I was younger. It's so weird that older games are so much better. Like, just objectively, like the things you can do. Obviously, there's like some quality of life improvements that newer games have that most people are kind of used to, but some of those older games, like there was a lot of novelties, like Far Cry 2, like the fire dynamics and, you know, just way everything works. You can chop down individual bushes and stuff, machine guns take down trees, you know, just all that stuff is super cool. Started this on the Steam Deck. I might stream that, maybe. I don't know if people want to see that or not, or if it just needs to be VR exclusive content. Doom, it's a good game. It's good. Stride is pretty fun. Might do a spoof of that with Mirror's Edge. Jet Island is a thing. It's fun, but it's also very indie, which is not a bad thing, but you just gotta work with it to understand what's happening. From a gameplay perspective, story-wise, I have no idea what's happening. Spyro is good. This game is super detailed. I hope that Blade and Sorcery isn't just this when it finally comes out, because, I don't know, like, waiting that long for essentially what would just be an arena game doesn't seem worth it. I'd rather there be like a full-fledged campaign of some kind. Maybe like Arc. Is it Arc Fatalis or something like that? I remember Mandalore Gaming did a review of it. In that game, you could like pick up stuff and throw it, and it was like a medieval fantasy kind of game. That would be really cool if that's what Blade and Sorcery did. I don't know if that's what they'll do, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Never played this. I didn't even open up a match. This doesn't need to be on the list. This is an imposter right here. Fallout 4 VR. Waiting to figure out how to mod this game, as I'll probably do a series of it in the future. I'm in the starting area, haven't really done anything, so if I restart the game, I'm not really going to lose much progress at all, honestly. So I think this one I'm going to mod out and play it, because it is pretty cool, like, but the controls are terrible. It's a terrible control scheme for the Valve Index, and I think it was designed with the HTC Vive, and so it's using like the touchpads of the Valve Index, which I think the only game I know of that does the touchpad is Half-Life Alyx. And that's just to select your gun, not to move your character around or use it as a weapon wheel, which is what this game is doing. It's crazy. All right. Whew. There's a lot of them. Thank you, Sharpen Iron, for being a part of this team community in 2022. Well, I didn't really have much of a choice. This is just where the games are at. Like, Steam VR is the reason why I'm using Steam. I'm just kidding. Okay, that's the end of it. But, yeah, that's it. I've got a few plans for the future. I really hope that this recorded. I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes it doesn't want to record. Sometimes it does. That might be a new thing for next year, to get an actual, I guess, what is it called? Capture card, yeah. If I get an actual capture card, that might be nice. We'll see what happens, though. It just depends. But anyways, that's kind of the plans for the future. Maybe get a capture card, play Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and we'll play some other games possibly, depending on what your input is. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing, sharing with others. It's been amazing. Again, I started this YouTube channel really just as a fun way to share videos with my friends, practice my editing skills, but it's kind of turned into a lot more than that because of you all. So thank you. And, you know, maybe in the future we'll do more commentary videos and stuff, depending on how much time I have to put into it. Again, I'm very busy. I usually play games to just kind of relax. So the end of the Radius series has kind of turned into a lot more than what I originally intended, but I think that's a good thing. And I think there's a bright future ahead for the channel and for everybody involved. Thank you all for watching again. And remember, God made you special, and He loves you very much. It's a VeggieTales reference.